Champions League is the World Championship of Professional Drone Racing Teams. I'm Matt Andrews. Welcome to Race Day 4 and some big news to start. X-Blades Racing have refused to follow the correct pre-season administration, and they won't follow the rules that apply to all the teams. Therefore, DCL has no choice but to continue the 2024 split season without them. So here are the three matchups we're looking forward to today. Cyclone Racing will get things underway. It's J-Box, the Ice Cheetah, Neon, and Yayu, and they'll be looking to move up the table. To do that, they'll want to get a lot of points against Mach1, the all-female drone racing team, who are here with Trilly, Natahova, Zoe, and Hologram. They've got off to a slow start this split. Quad Force 1 are nowhere near where they wanted to be after being runners-up in the World Championship in 2023. Now we've got Amari, Propsicle, Leviathan and Hyper trying to get themselves away from 6th place in the leaderboard. SDT, on the other hand, from Spain are undefeated this year. Red Sheep, Silvio, Danube and Clone Number 1 will want to continue that way. Raiden Racing out of Japan have brought in Mach1 to race alongside Vicen Mayan, IQ0 and Valprim. They've had some great showings so far. What can they do against the DCL Wildcard Team? Well, they're back with Chugakva, West, Super Spyro and Tom. Two pilots in their first ever season of the DCL. Let's see what they do. All the teams are pretty close on points so far at this stage of the season. The top 6 go to our live finals at the end of April in Abu Dhabi. So there's a real scrap around the bottom of the table to get there. And those points come from 3 races in each matchup. 2 pilots against each other, then the other 2 pilots from each team face each other before. The big heat has all of them in the air at the same time. And it's 4 points for the win of any of those races, then 3, then 2. And then 1. And after the 3 races in the matchup are done, we tally the points together. The winners get 3 points on that leaderboard. The draw gets you 1. Yes, there are some teams who desperately don't want 0 this week. And the track we're going to be racing around is our fun little route around Reuter in Austria, where our first ever real-life race was flown. This is a perfect match of it in DCL the game. Here's the ladder, you have to climb that, turning right all the way. Duck under this, pile on through the Foxeer climb, up and over, and then this is a split S over the top and back through it. A slalom coming up. Duck under that hurdle, and then you can see the gate you've got to fly through, but not the one you've got to fly down through before you start the next lap. So let's send it into the skies, everybody. Our first matchup, it's Cyclone Racing against Mach1. Yayu and J-Box will be racing against Zoe and Trilly to get things underway. Good start from Trilly. Everybody very close together within 2/10, but that was a good start for her. Over the walls, we're on board with J-Box, who is in second place at the moment. Oh, it's all getting a bit chaotic around the ladder. And now Yayu bounces off a pylon, the one horizontally sticking out from the wall, which puts Trilly and Zoe for Mach1 up into second and third. But Yayu is one of the quickest pilots, if not the fastest of all 4 of these. So he's immediately pushed back past them. And it's a little bit rocky for him. I've seen him fly very smoothly around this track in Reuter. He's just got off to a little bit of a bumpy start there. What you're looking at now is J-Box having no issues around the ladder or the Foxeer climb up and over the tower, as he's got plenty of free space all to himself. Yayu looks like he's finding his attacking rhythm again, and J-Box had trouble at the top of the balloon. Yayu has passed him as they're going on to lap number 3, but it's all come undone for the 2 pilots from Mach1, who are far, far behind, I'm sorry to say. They have had a difficult season so far. They've had a number of difficult races in previous seasons too. It's not all clean for J-Box and Cyclone though, as he got caught on the split S where you go over the top and then pull and come back underneath where you were. Just hit the underside of it, bounce through the gate, so he managed to keep going. It's those kind of mistakes that can bite you as another team passes you, but unfortunately Mach1 are too far behind to take any advantage from it. Here's J-Box just trying to keep it clean and get around the rest of this. It's not quite as smooth as he's been flying before. Maybe the nerves just getting to him a little bit. His teammate, though, Yayu, with the first points of the day. 4 points for Cyclone Racing. A dominant performance from him and the team. J-Box just having a little bit of a rough start to it. Yayu made the first mistakes, though. Let's take a look at that split S again with J-Box over, and then you've got to go back through, which he did manage to bounce through. And that's obviously not the fastest way to do it. Solid start for Cyclone, even with a few bumps along the way. The Ice Cheetah and Neon are now up against Hologram and Natahova. Hologram and Natahova are a great pairing for Mach1. We've seen them together a few times. Let's see the Ice Cheetah's view as he's through the archway and over the top. no problem either for Neon, racing for the team very nicely too. He only joined the team in Split 2 of 2023. Cyclone joined the DCL last year, that was their first season, and then Neon joined them after the first split and has been a great pickup for them. Was racing as Fluorescent last year, but has changed his name to Neon, if you're wondering where he's come from. The Ice Cheetah has been the captain of the team and absolutely brilliant for them, but outscored by some of his teammates, namely J-Box, also Yayu, also some of the others. The Ice Cheetah always there in support and vocal with it too. Neon's currently ahead of him by 1.3 seconds at the halfway point of the race. Hologram and Natahova, well, they're closer than the other Mach1 pilots were, but they're simply not close enough. And this is a quick technical track and the laps aren't very long here. It's one of the shorter races we have, so just less time. If you lose time at the beginning, then it's really, really hard to find an opportunity to make it back up again. Neon is now more than twice as far ahead of the Ice Cheetah as he was a lap ago. Here's the Ice Cheetah going across the courtyard and through the castle archway. This is, if you're new to the DCL, a perfect match of the location. We started the DCL back in 2016 in Reuter, Austria. This is actually Fortress Schlosskopf, where our very first real-life race was flown. It was completed in 1741. Here in 2024 on our virtual track, Neon has picked up another 4 points for Cyclone Racing. This is all going very well for the team who started in 2023 and ended the season in 4th place in the World Championship. Their 2024 season hasn't been scoring so many points for them, so they'll be happy to get clear away here and grab handfuls of them. Neon doing very well, the Ice Cheetah coming in about 4 seconds behind him. What happens with all 8 pilots? It's the DCL Big Heat. All of them in the air at the same time. Mach1 need to do something special here to keep up with Cyclone Racing and try and grab some of the points away from them. I fear it's too much to do in order to turn it around. They'd need to get basically all of the top 4 positions. Instead, they are unfortunately in the last 4 positions behind all of the Cyclone pilots as we are into lap number 1. Yayu's going to be the first to start lap 2 as he makes the turn. No, doesn't quite get that. That's ruined his line. And with that, the Ice Cheetah and J-Box, his teammates have both passed him. I've not seen anybody crash on that hurdle before you get onto the second lap. Yayu's already alongside the Ice Cheetah and we're getting a nice race between 3 Cyclone pilots here. There's the Split S into the slalom and now attacking the climb up to the balloon. Yayu's moved back up into second place ahead of the Ice Cheetah. 4 tenths behind his teammate J-Box. They got the courtyard to themselves. This is the view in the lead. This is the view in the chase. And there's that archway. We've raced it so many times. Every season we make new tracks. We always change the location of the gates and the way round, so they haven't flown this orientation a lot before, but that archway here at Schlosskopf has always been part of our track, and for some reason this approach across the courtyard is difficult for a lot of our pilots. Here's the Ice Cheetah getting through without any issues. J-Box a little bit ahead of him, Yayu gaining alongside him too. It doesn't matter who gets the points in theory, but of course to these pilots they'd all love to have them on their individual records. J-Box to the final climb, bit high for the second part. He's missed the gate and the Ice Cheetah has passed him at the end.
Damn, J-Box, where'd you go? You're right there.
He was right there. But that final gate, he was a bit high over the top of the balloon, bounced off the top of the dive, didn't get through the gate, the Ice Cheetah passed him. 1.6 seconds separating all 4 pilots of Cyclone as they dominated that big heat and this whole matchup. Not without incident again though. There have been a few mistakes and a few bumps, but there they all go, and that is a maximum 10 points from the big heat and a maximum 24-6 win over poor Mach1, and that's going to do wonders for Cyclone trying to move up the board. Our next matchup is Quad Force 1 against the Spain Drone Team. Going to start off with Leviathan and their new pilot Amari against Silvio and their new pilot Red Sheep. Well, welcome to the DCL Red Sheep, who is now the youngest pilot we've ever had. He's only just recently turned 8 years old, and here he is racing for a professional team in the World Championship. You're amazing, Red Sheep, and welcome. We are thrilled to have you with us. Let's see how this battle between SDT and Quad Force 1 continues. It's Silvio who's completing the first lap, and he's 0.3 of a second ahead of Leviathan. Across the courtyard and away. There's Leviathan's chase, flat over the walls, very close to many parts of it. That is aggressive, quick flying from Levi. Really important pilot for Quad Force 1, but been underperforming a little bit lately compared to how good he can be. Here, he's trying to keep up with Silvio, but Silvio's getting a little bit away. Red Sheep has passed Amari. He's moved up into third. Levi's still a little way ahead of him, though, but gaining on Silvio. Trying to close the gap here. Too high on the ladder, and Leviathan loses a whole stack of time. He's now in danger of Red Sheep catching and passing him. Silvio has got no competition as he's about to start the final lap here. Levi can't see Silvio anymore, but he might see a green drone just pop in and out of his vision, and that'll be Red Sheep who's trying to stay with him from behind, but I think Levi just gonna keep ahead of him. That's Silvio out in front on the Foxeer climb. He's ducked the hurdle, he's done the split S, there's the slalom, here's the balloon. This is the final part of the track now. Silvio's on his way to 4 points for the team. SDT are on their way to a win over Quad Force 1 in the first matchup.
Good job. Nice.
Silvio congratulating his teammate Red Sheep. Good showing from the two pilots there, gives them a 6-4 start over Quad Force 1. Levi was charging here in his early parts of the race. Duck under was good. Look at the speed he's carrying across the walls as he's trying to gain Silvio, but the ladder, that's the bit that was too high for him. A lot of pressure on Quad Force 1 as they need to close the gap on the other teams. Next up, it's Propsicle, the captain, and Hyper against Danube and Clone Number 1. Now, Danube was the previous captain of Spain drone team, but that's now gone over to Silvio. Clone Number 1 was one of the best pilots for the China Dragons. James Govey had been with the Chinese team for a number of seasons, but in the transfer window before 2024 began, he's moved over, and it's a big pickup for SDT, and they are, of course, on top of our leaderboard at the moment. Unlike Quad Force 1, who are very much down the bottom of things and in a little bit of danger, and this is off the back of 2023 being their best season. Oh, it's all been a chaotic start to our 2024. Let's have a look at the front. Danube leading ahead of Propsicle, up through the Foxeer climb, over the top of the tower. Danube for the split S has bounced off of it, and Propsicle's got him. Danube is 3 or 4 or 5 seconds behind. Not just bounced off of that, but had real trouble recovering. Clone Number 1 has moved past him in a second. Hyper has moved past him as well. Danube is all the way to the back. Ruined his race. Just that one mistake can totally break your rhythm, and this is a technical course with a lot of very tight sections. Hit one thing, you might find yourself hitting a few more afterwards. So Clone Number 1, what can he do here in the chase against Propsicle? I'll be honest with you, very few pilots can catch Propsicle when he's out in front, but Clone Number 1 will give it a good go, and there's always a chance for a mistake. Now Propsicle across the courtyard, he corkscrews over the top. Clone Number 1 flies it level. Now I haven't seen many pilots corkscrew the wall. I thought I would. Propsicle was the first one to do it, where you completely invert the drone and carry on and turn it the right way up. It's worked for Propsicle. He's used to being in the front and getting the 4 points. Here's 4 more for him.
Scary.
I was going for a pass.
Tried to pass Clone.
And you hear some of the voices in the background there from the teams as they're in communication with their teammates and letting them know where the other pilots are and if they're under pressure. Propsicle got the 4. Earlier on it looked like Danube might have it, but we saw him hit that split S just here. Disappears for the rest of the race. There's the view on the other side of the balloon. Early in the race, there's the view when you've done the 4th lap. You hit the finish gate. Clone Number 1, 7 tenths behind him. And then Hyper was closely caught by Danube, but not quite. All of the pilots in the air. This could be fun and crazy and difficult to see which way it's going to go. 10 points all. 6-4, 6-4 is how these ones have worked out. There's Hyper facing the wrong way out of the archway as he clipped it. Managed to carry a lot of speed through. Nevertheless, he's down in 7th. Behind him is Leviathan, who's had a shocker of a start. He's 6.5 seconds behind, and we're only a couple of turns in. Leviathan's season really isn't coming together. Propsicle in the thick of things, of course, fighting the good fight for Quad Force 1. Silvio, Danube just getting around Propsicle as well. There's a good fight between them in 2nd and 3rd. Silvio, though, leaving them both behind a bit with 3 tenths on the climb. And now to the split S. Nobody can afford to make any mistakes there. It's so fast through the slalom. Drones and walls and pylons in all directions. Keep your focus on where you need to be, as Propsicle has done. Silvio has managed to do, stays in front of him. Now to the ladder, right hand up we go. Silvio, still Propsicle. Then Danube, occasionally grabbing that 2nd place from him. It's going to be so close for Quad Force 1's Propsicle to keep that 2nd. But what he needs, and I've said this maybe every time they've raced for so many races now, including back in 2023. He needs his teammates to be scoring the points as well. He can win races, and he's in the lead of this one, although Silvio's still got something to say about it. But where are the rest of them? Here's Silvio chasing the best pilot of Quad Force 1, Propsicle, still just ahead of him. Now the balloon climb, you can't mess this up, nobody does. The dive down, is it Silvio? No, it's Propsicle!
Oh, vamos. Nice.
Nice.
Silvio Danube, clone number 1, and then Red Sheep, all coming behind him. The phenomenal Pilot of the Year from 2023, Silas Aaron, who's been so good in the DCL and for Quad Force 1 since he was the captain at the age of just 14. He's so good, and here he is fighting, desperately scrapping with STT. At this point, he's just behind Silvio with 1 lap to go, and from this point on, as he passes him on the way down, there's barely a 1/10 of a second between them at any time. Look at this, 400ths of a second. The dive down, he's underneath, and he's just there. Nevertheless, it is STT who win out the series. As Propsicle just got 4 in the big heat, but they got another 6. STT remain undefeated. Now for our third matchup, Raiden Racing against the DCL Wildcard Team. It's Vicen and Matteo against West and Chagakva. So the Japanese team of Raiden Racing, been in the DCL for many years and were the world champions in 2021 and 2022. Then they lost the title to X-Blades in our thrilling battle in Alula, Saudi Arabia at the end of last year. Now, Raiden want to try and get that World Championship title. And Wildcard Team, well, they're here to show what they can do and try and get picked up by other teams. Chagakva was racing for Haven Esport out of Stavanger in Norway last year until that team disbanded. And now he's been on our Wildcard Team for a couple of races and doing well. West, though, in second place, is putting in a great showing. He's a brand new pilot in the DCL. And West FPV is doing brilliant work ahead of Matteo from Raiden. Matteo hasn't been seen so far in 2024. They've been flying with their pilot Yuki in yellow, but now Matteo gets his chance, although he's been passed and is a long way behind as he's made some mistakes. So the Wildcard Team in second and third. Out in front it is, of course, the legendary Vicen Mayan. He's on the climb and about to start his final lap as he ducks under the hurdle and goes across the first run along the courtyard. West FPV 1.7 seconds behind him. Will not see him on the courtyard there. I tell you what, this is good, confident flying for a pilot who's so new to the DCL. Go on, West FPV. He'll need a mistake from Mayans, who's doing the split S nicely and hits the first part of the slalom. Oh, he's recovered so quickly. Oh, but a little window could have opened up there for West to take advantage of. Nope, Mayan is home. There's West. Chagakva's going to make it third.
Nice.
And Matteo just a little bit behind him.
Sorry.
Another win for Vicen Mayan of Raiden Racing. And that one's going to be 5 points all. First and fourth gets cancelled out by second and third. So the Wildcard Team keeping up with Raiden. There's West flying very nicely through the slalom. Here's Vicen going on to his fourth lap around the swinging turn and sends you across the courtyard for the first time. There's the dive, there's the finish, there's 4 more points in his legendary total. Now what can Valprim and IQ0 do against Tom and Super Spyro? 200ths of a second between all 4 pilots. Great work. Tom jostles his way to the lead through the archway. It's good for everybody on the turn afterwards. Tom's hit the fence before the ladder. Oh, that was very low to the ground. Hit a very short fence. That sent him a long way back. Unlucky Tom. Super Spyro possibly still in contention here. IQ0 and Valprim, though, are going to be hard to keep up with. Valprim across the courtyard. Nicely done already. Into the ladder. A little bit high, actually, through the ladder. I mean, IQ0 has caught him. Yes, there it is. Oh, and IQ0 is very wide on the split S, and oh, it's ruined his line into the slalom, and it's all coming undone. But Super Spyro's a little bit too far away to push past him straight away. Oh, they're getting closer, but Valprim is getting away from everybody. So good for Raiden Racing. Oh, look at the speed of IQ0, though. Corkscrewing now. He's attacking. He doesn't want to get left behind. Oh, this is really aggressive flying from Gabe. I love it, but he's wide on the split S again. He seems to be all right there. Wow, it's like he's chasing down a drone that is not yellow. Not one of his teams. 1 more lap to go. Watch out, Valprim. IQ0 has found the boosters. That corkscrew's good. He's close to the wall. Into the ladder. Not enough on the second part of the ladder. And now he's got to figure out where to go. Oh, that was entertaining, IQ0. That was recklessly fun. Valprim, don't worry, he's got the 4 points. IQ0 is still going to get the second place and the 3 that come with that. Here's Super Spyro. Oh, just having trouble over the top of the balloon. It is a blind dive on the other side. You don't see that gate. Valprim out in front, clean as ever. All close at the start. Just watch, though, after the turn, the red drones, one of them hits the fence. That's Tom, who we didn't see after that. IQ0 letting it all hang out. Yeah, a little bit wide, and then just hit that pylon. Column square on, like Vincent did earlier on, which is a bit of a surprise. Two very experienced pilots. Okay, big heat time. Everybody in this to the sky. The first matchup was 5-all. Then we got a 7-3. So now the wildcard team a little bit behind coming into the big heat. They've really just got to throw caution to the wind here, I feel. Remember, they are trying to show off their individual skills and hope to get picked up by some of the other professional teams. It has happened. It often happens. We run a new wildcard team every season for this reason. Right now, all of the wildcard team are above Matteo, who's sadly for Raiden down in 8th place, but they're not ahead of any of the other Raiden pilots. Mach1, IQ0, Valprim. Here's the climb, there's Valprim going over the castle. We'll see IQ0 going very far to the left. We'll see Valprim bounce off the top of the split S. Oh, I was just looking at IQ0's route and seeing how different it is to the other Raiden's pilots. But Valprim lost the lead and has dropped to 4th and 5th. The wildcard team up into the points. And Mach1 still ahead of them, and then IQ0 is currently in the lead. Take a look as we go towards the split S after the climb. You'll see he goes very far over to the left and swings back through it. That's interesting that he's chosen that line. It doesn't seem the quickest. Works for him though, that's the most important thing. And in fact, he's extended his lead over his teammate Vincent Mach1, who's clearly having maybe a little bit of a bump in second place as he's lost quite a large chunk of time. Then is Valprim, back up into 3rd. Managed to get past both Chagakva and Super Spyro. The last parts of the lap now. Another dominant performance from Raiden. It's IQ0 coming for the win.
1, 2, 3.
Woo!
Yes. GG.
Chagakva got 4th, but as Mach1 said, it's a 1-2-3 with IQ0 leading the way and getting 9 more points for Raiden in those 3 positions. Yeah, the wildcard team getting a bit left behind there, but look at Super Spyro here with drones everywhere, not being put off at all, held his lines, was very much in the thick of the action alongside Raiden. That was good flying from him, and at this stage he was 3rd, then Valprim got past him and Chagakva, and Super Spyro dropped out. Raiden Racing dominate the end of that after tying the first race, let's not forget. They were 5-all in that, but then it got away from the wildcard team. 21 points to 9, a big result for the Raiden Racing team. Alongside the 24-6 win of Cyclone earlier, but STT Quad Force 1 were extremely close. With that, of course, STT remain undefeated at the top of the leaderboard. Quad Force 1, on the other hand, they're just not making the moves they want to do. Cyclone moved from 5th up into 3rd. Next week, it's a bye week for SDT, so we'll see all of the other teams racing around Liechtenstein and its beautiful capital for just on race day 5. I'm Matt Andrews, we are the Drone Champions League. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in the skies!